Grace, and this is going to be the second part of the video that I just posted, where I talked about how the less you're thinking, the less rules you set for yourself, the more you're going to be willing to see the best possible options and choose those options. And I do feel like if we're in a state of full love, like full unconditional self-love, we will see and choose the best option, the most loving option, you know? If we are love, we're going to choose and see love. All right. But what I failed to recognize in that video, the second part of that, is that we're not strong all the time. And as humans, it's kind of nearly impossible for us to be strong all the time and to choose love and be love all the time when we got so much going on. Okay, this world's kind of crazy. Okay, so this is going to be the other part to that. Some crazy shit went down for me in my life, and everything that I thought and believed in that video was like not valid anymore. I mean, it was still valid, right? That was all real. That is all real. But I did not see this other side of the coin. We're not invincible, and emotions happen. They come up and things happen. And sometimes it's hard to see and choose the best for yourself. So I want to pay tribute to the idea of structure and boundaries with yourself, between you and yourself. So if you think about it, boundaries are the ultimate act of self-love, right? Like if you love yourself enough to recognize, okay, I want the best for myself, but I know that I'm a human and I can't always be in the mental state to see and choose that. Setting boundaries for yourself to help ensure that you do choose the best options, that's the ultimate form of self-love, okay? And setting the boundaries and sticking to them is the ultimate form of self-love. Because it is hard. It can be hard to choose and stick to boundaries, especially when you've been having habits for so long, or ways of living and thinking even. But you get to choose what type of hard you want in your life, right? Do you want the type of hard where it's like you're constantly coming up short? You feel like you're constantly coming up short and you feel like you're not doing your best, you're not doing all that you could, you're not reaching your potential. Do you want that pain, or do you want the pain of listening to your own boundaries? It's kind of like, I've heard this in the terms of like being fat, being overweight. Do you want the pain of sticking to a diet and a workout routine? Or do you want the pain of feeling down about yourself if that's how you feel? You know, it's a choice. You have a choice to choose your type of hard. And these are choices that we make and boundaries we set that are coming from a place of self-love, right? It's not coming from a place of like, oh, I have to do this or else. Or, oh my gosh, I'm scared, so I have to do this. Like, I'm scared that I'm going to fuck up, like, so I have to set this boundary. No, it's coming from a place of like, I know who I am. I know that these are my tendencies, so I need to put these measures in place to guide myself on the right path, right? In the last video, we talked about being in a maze and like constantly hitting walls and like turning and hitting this wall. Then you have to turn and hit this wall and this wall and this wall. You can't do this, can't do this. But this is more of a loving, flowy path. As hippie as that sounds, it is you guiding yourself on a more easy path. And more easy, it can be, it's about you guiding yourself on a more, I think, easy in the long run if we're looking at the big picture, right? Because we don't want to fall into instant gratification. Like that's where my lows hit most recently, is falling into instant gratification. Easy in the way of long-term goals. Makes you feel better long-term, keeps your mind at ease more, if that makes sense. You know that saying, the devil loves idle hands, or whatever? What is that saying? I don't know what the saying is, but yeah, the devil loves idle hands. So just for example, like if you're bored, are you mindful when you're bored of what you're doing when you have free time? Or are you indulging in things that don't make you feel the best the next day or the next hour or right after you do it? Are you indulging in things that don't make you feel your best? Idle hands are the devil's playhouse. Idle hands are the devil's playhouse. Is that what it is? But you know what I mean? Like, are you setting things up for yourself? Are you setting things up for yourself to be successful? Like, I had to make a list in my phone about when I get bored or whatever it is, what am I going to do? What options do I have to do? So it's the self-awareness of it all, right? You have to recognize, okay, I tend to go towards these things, but they don't make me feel that great in the long run. After trial and error and being patient with yourself, you finally realize like those things don't actually make me feel that great. So this is what I did. I made a list in my phone about, okay, well, whenever I'm bored or, what are things that I could do instead? And that has been extremely helpful. This is my first week of setting like a clear boundary for myself. It's a Friday now and I started on Monday that I'm no longer smoking during the week. I said, girl, I've had enough. Lovingly, I've had enough. We can't do that anymore. Sure, go ahead, have fun on the weekends, but we're going to set some sort of balance here. And again, it's about balance. I wasn't like, oh, you can't do this. This is not good. It's like, no, we're going to balance it out. And during the week, we're not going to do that anymore because it wasn't good for me in so many ways. And of course, everyone is different and like some people can do that. But it's like everyone has their own thing, right? Their own little vice. And I'm grateful that that's my vice right now. I've had much worse vices in the past, much different vices. I've had much more intense vices in the past, so I'm blessed that is what I'm working with right now. But yeah, I had to set that boundary with myself because I had been fed up. I was fed up with myself. And the best version of myself had to step in and say, girl, this isn't working for you. We need to figure something else out. And that is the ultimate form of self-love. And I've never felt more proud of myself this Friday. Like I've never felt more proud of myself for setting that boundary and actually sticking to it. And I see the fruit of my labor. I see it in how I feel. I see it in how I take care of myself. I see it in the amount of stuff I'm getting done every day and the amount of joy I'm having every day. It's crazy. It's crazy. And when you are setting boundaries for yourself, it's setting yourself up for balance, right? And allowing yourself to have fun and do the things that you love and indulge. But it's also, you have the balance of reality, I guess, or not, overdoing your indulgences. You're kind of balanced in the middle, right? If you think about it like a spectrum, you're not on one of the polar sides, which in my experience, being on either one of the polar sides is like not sustainable and it's not a vibe. It's not a vibe. And I feel like finding that middle ground, that balance is really what can bring people true awareness, true joy and happiness, even though like things still happen in life. But it gives me a much clearer mind to navigate those challenges when I do feel balanced and I feel strong and I feel proud of myself for being balanced, because it takes a lot to be balanced. It takes effort, it takes patience with yourself, it takes time. And it takes work. It takes dedication. It takes work, mental work, whether that's, I'm not like mental, physical work, whatever it is to you. It takes effort and it takes time. So you're going to feel proud of yourself when you're feeling balanced. Okay. We don't want to be on one side of the spectrum where you're like, oh, if it's like a scale, right? You don't want to be tipped on a scale unless you do. And then that's your journey. And what I've noticed, like I was talking about how sticking to the boundaries you set for yourself, it brings such an inner sense of light and like confidence that is going to start showing outward in the way, like even just in 1 week of setting boundaries for yourself. I set the goal, okay, I'm going to not smoke during the week for the whole month of April. And this is week 1. And I was saying, I already see the benefits of it, but it's like, who knows where that's what it's going to feel like at the end of April. And I said, if it's not working for me, there's no pressure. I can change up my plan, right? That's the whole thing about it, is there's no pressure on this. This is you. This is your journey. It's you with yourself. You have to work with yourself and be on your own team and be your own supporter. It's not a end all be all, like, this is it. It's like, this is a fluid plastic process where you're working with yourself to find out what works best for you. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes trial and error to figure out what does work for you. But just after 1 week, this is working for me so far, and I can't wait to see where it leads me, what happens. Because when you are feeling that inner sense of confidence and proudness, not pride, but like humble confidence, I guess, you start to like, it's kind of like it magnifies all of the good qualities about yourself. When you're acting on setting boundaries for yourself and helping clear old patterns that aren't serving you anymore, it magnifies all the great things about you, because you're already doing that, right? You're choosing yourself, you're choosing self-love. So you're magnifying all the other great things about yourself. And that's what I was talking about in the first video, where when you're choosing self-love, you're going to make the choices that are best for yourself. So everything is valid, but I just want to pay tribute to the fact that we are humans and like we're not strong all the time. So setting up structure and boundaries for ourselves is necessary. And I'm sure most people just are like, duh, bitch, what the fuck? But I hate rules. I always have. And so I fought them for so long in society, obviously, but like with myself too, which is like the one that hurts the most. Like I have struggled so long to make rules for myself, and set these boundaries for myself. But I think I'm finally realizing that like there is a reason that people do that. And I know everyone's like, duh, but hey, okay. You start to pay tribute to your core values and, you know, the things that you want to be and want to do in the world. You start to see how they can happen in your life more clearly. Because you're like, oh, I can do this. If you can set boundaries for yourself and with yourself, what else can you do in the world, right? Like, I mean, for me, like, I'm my number one enemy and supporter. And I know that's the same for a lot of people. So if you can set up these rules for yourself and follow them, again, in a loving way, not in a you have to do this way, because like that just reminds me of like growing up in school and stuff and like being told what to do, and that's not fun. That's not what this is. This is, girl, we're trying to get rich. We're trying to be successful. We got to do these things to get that, to see your to get your long-term goals and stuff. We got to do these things. And that is the ultimate form of self-love. I said it before. I'll say it again, girl. Like, you're creating your path, okay? So it's like, again, you're guiding yourself on this path. You're not like hitting walls and blah, blah, blah. You are choosing how you want to walk, how you want to show up in life, how you want to walk through life. Last thing that I'll say is that the lows that we go through, the walls that we hit, they are necessary for us to see what's not working for us to see the things we don't like, the things we don't prefer, whether that's, with ourselves or with other people. It's for us to see what's not working and for us to figure out what does work for us and to see what we do prefer. How we prefer to live, how we prefer to be, how we prefer to think, how we prefer to everything. So when you hit those walls, just recognize that this is a signal. This is a signal that something's not going too well, and that's okay. That's okay. Don't get caught up in the emotions of it all. Recognize that that's okay. That just means that something should change. There's a redirection that you can make happen. And work with that. And choose yourself. Choose what works best for you. for the good of everyone and work with that. So the lows are important. The highs are lovely, but balance is what's most slay. That's the literal only word that I could think of. But it's true. Balance is a slay, and I'm not mad about it. So thank you for listening, and I love you all. Bye.